Yo! Right. Been practicing. It's not there yet. We'll get there. How you guys doing? I'm Seth. That's my name. Co-founder of Pink Property Group. Yeah? Look, I'm back. The vibe is back. All right. So you guys have seen episode 3. What did you guys think of it? What are some of the key lessons that you've learned? Because I'm about to discuss mine. And I'm hoping that some of you guys can interact with us. Remember, interact, like, and subscribe. Yeah? Let's do that, guys. Let's do that. And I've been getting some feedback, which I love. And I want you guys to keep them coming. Yeah? All right. In this episode, as is the case, 3 lessons coming up right now. Yeah? I'm going to start with the first one. But before I do that, I want you guys to stop whatever it is that you're doing and like and subscribe. I know I've already said it, but it's important. It helps us do what we do best, which is to share the information that we are sharing now. But more importantly, whenever we share anything, you guys can get notifications. Okay? All right. And it also helps us get an indication as to what you like and don't like. All right. Now let's get into it. Let me not waste any more time. All right. Number 1. What you see is not always what you get with property. Unlike our spouses or our partners, there's always room for improvement, right? And the reason why most of us don't see properties for what they could be, right, versus what they are is because of what's in here. We ourselves get stuck on how the house looks versus what the potential of the house could potentially be, right? And as a result, we lose out on big upsides, right? And therefore miss out on the opportunity to do what? To maximize our return on investment. Now, in this case, a simple act of moving where the main door was essentially resulted us in getting an extra 3,000 a month. Now, if you count that over 12 months, that's 36,000. What about over 10 years? That's 360,000 plus any other potential upside from investing such money. So my bottom line is this: see the property for what it can become versus what it is, right? And the stumbling block in doing so is yourself. So if you're struggling to see the potential of the property, consult with other people that are in the same circles as you are, and say, if you had this property and there was no what's the right term? There was no limitations in terms of what you could do with this property. What could you do with it? And you'd be surprised as to what other people coming from a different point of view would suggest to you. Okay, that's number 1. Danko. Number 2, never allow the contractor to do anything for you for free. Because guess what? Nothing's for free. Anything that is for free actually costs you money. Now, in my case, I fell for this. I thought, man, what an awesome contractor. But it turns out it's a way to either get you hooked in terms of only using him, right? Or a way to actually get more of the work. Now, in our case, we ended up have to replace the contractor. And guess what? When we wanted to do that, he started calling on the favors that he had done for us. Now, all of a sudden, those, don't worry about it, we'll cover that for you for free, now had a cost assigned to it. Why? Because the work that he was expecting to do was no longer there. So nothing's for free. Free stuff actually costs you money. It's just hidden costs. Okay? So never allow your contractors to do anything for free. Anything that needs to be done needs to be itemized, which is something I want to discuss in number 3. All right? So remember this: you pay for everything, and everything must be clearly stated out as to what you're paying for and what you're getting in return. And that way, should you want to stop at any given point in time of the project, then you're able to do so. You're not stuck with somebody that you don't want anymore because they did you a favor. Okay, that's number two. Two. Now, number three. Never ever have an open-ended scope. What I mean by this is this. Know every little thing that needs to be done in terms of the renovations. How long it's going to take to get done. What needs to be done for it to be done. And what it's going to cost you. Never have something as open-ended as, oh, we're not really sure how long that's going to take, etc. No. If something has never been done, then get a few opinions around how long it should take. But if you're working with a good contractor, they should know exactly how long something is going to take, or give you a very good estimate as to how long it's going to take. Because if you don't do this, you're going to do the mistake that this idiot did, which is paying somebody to paint per day versus getting paid for a specific work done, right? In my case, I said I would give you X per day because that's the rate that he liked using. That's like the way that he did things. You pay us X per person per day to do your painting. All right. We're not really sure how long it's going to take, but we'll get there, right? Paid them, and guess what? Instead of painting, they painted. And what happened? You guessed it. Took longer than it was supposed to take. And who paid for that? I did. So always work with specifics. And remember in number two, lesson number 2, I mentioned itemize everything. Itemize everything. Everything must be clearly stipulated. This is what needs to be done. This is how long it's going to take, and this is what it's going to cost. Should they run over and has nothing to do with you, then it's their problem. Because they themselves, based on the work that they've done in the past, said that this is how long it's going to take them, right? Now be fair. In certain cases, the delays are there because of something that you did. If that's the case, then acknowledge that it was your fault that there were delays. Okay? But don't be taken for an idiot. Everything needs to be clear and everything needs to be predictable. Otherwise, you're going to have renovation costs running out of control. Okay? All right. That's number 3. Three. Yeah? Hope this was of value to you guys. And don't forget, like and subscribe. And every time I do this, it's below. But anyway, just like and subscribe. Okay? And I'll see you guys in the next episode. And what would you do? You know, are there some things that you don't agree with me with? Yeah? Let me know. Okay? See you guys in the next episode. Sharp.